find a way through is obviously the pension issue, but I'm also aware that you know, across the Nepalese community there are a variety of issues which I think, you know, are things that, you know, I'm really keen to work out how I can make an impact on. So, you know, that is the other thing that I would love any of your thoughts on is, you know, and, you know, I'm aware that probably quite a lot of the issues are interlinked, you know, so,
yes,
you know,
naturally there would be, yes.
Yeah, absolutely. But,
one thing leading to the other, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But that, you know, that is, I mean, on the pension issue, you know, I'm really putting myself forward to be your champion in Parliament. You know, I come to this as somebody who has been a resident in this town for several years and just felt like the representation that we have been getting from our Member of Parliament has not really been focused on the issues that we have within our community. You know, he has had a lot of other things that he's wanted to get done. His focus has really been on his parliamentary career and, you know, making sure he
does. That's blatantly, can be seen as well.
Yeah, completely. And, you know, I just feel like, you know, there are numerous issues within our community that actually need some proper attention, some proper focus. Now, I'm not here promising I'm going to be able to solve everything, and I'm not here saying that, you know, I'm going to be able to get the Labour Party to agree to everything we want overnight. But I think that, you know, what you will get from me is somebody that is 100% committed to moving forward the agenda of the issues that are in our community. And, you know, I feel like this, you know, there is so much that is worth fighting for. We have a, you know, this is a great place to live for everyone within our community, but there are just these issues that have got stuck, and we've got to try and get them unstuck.
Yeah.
So that will be my approach. You know, and, you know, I will work with you to work out what are the steps, what are the things that I can do to draw attention to your campaign, to support behind the scenes with conversations with Labour colleagues if we are lucky enough to get a Labour government. And, you know, obviously, you know, we're not taking that for granted. We're fighting for every vote at the moment. But, you know, if it is the case of a Labour government, you know, we all know that obviously, you know, that government, whoever is the next government, is going to inherit actually, you know, quite a economic challenging situation. You know, so we are going to have to, you know, really work to make sure that, you know, your campaign gets the attention that it deserves. You know, I feel from, you know, the time I've spent listening to what you have told me and, you know, studying some of the detail of it, that, you know, it is fundamentally an injustice for you to be given, you know, such a low pension and then to have it topped up by benefits, you know, and then you look at those two numbers and the cost of both of those things then add up to more than what it would be to just give the pension. You know, I feel like there is, you know, such a story, you know, that, you know, we need to tell, but it will need some energy with the new government to try and, you know, make sure that, you know, where there are, you know, there are going to be so many priorities and so many challenges for that new government that we, you know, we make sure that, you know, you know, when you go back into the talks that, you know, will, you know, on the other side of the election, that, you know, the government, you know, come to the table proactively. So yeah, I'm not promising that we're going to be able to solve
No,
this
no,
overnight,
no,
but
no,
I am a friend. I am somebody who is here. I hope people feel for the right reasons. I am bringing up my children in this community.
Yeah.
I want the best for all of for my children and all of our neighbours. I've really enjoyed getting to know the Nepalese community in this community. Actually a real honour for me to get to know the Nepalese community. For the last 10 years I've worked at Battersea Power Station and learned a huge amount about how you get stuff done there. So I come with professional experience and business experience, work, I know how to get things done. I know how to influence people. So yeah, I would just love the opportunity to serve you. If I am lucky enough to get over the line.
Fully understand that. It's a myriad of issues that you have to deal with when you talk about papers, because it's legally and very craftily hidden by policies after policies, and policies are created or made to do so, and obviously when they make a policy, they ensure that it's legally tied.
Yeah.
That's why we were not successful in the European Court of Human Rights as well when we went for equal pensions. Having said that, the verdict was strangely discrimination justified. I've never ever heard the term that discrimination would be justified. Simply, the ground that they gave was it would be too costly because the government were clever enough to scare the court as well. We're talking about billions. That's not the truth. And the second was the discrimination which was justified as claimed by them was due to the fact that there was a treaty signed which allows us, the British government, to recruit into the British Army. The same with the Indian Army as well. It was a tripartite agreement signed in 1947. And within the tripartite, at that time, the terms and conditions that the British borrowed was similar to the Indian Army. It was strictly colonial terms. And that is the base where the European court said, because you've had an understanding, your discrimination is basically discrimination, ignoring the fact that they are the human rights court, where maybe they didn't look at it from the angle where two governments are exploiting human rights. They didn't go that deep, So sadly, that's what we were expecting, that they would look at it from whatever angle we were discriminating, that should not be allowed. Anyway, having said that, that has eventually led to the government-to-government meetings that's currently taking place due to hunger strike and all that. But cut a long story short, they have their defense saying why they can't make improvements to the pensions, and I did send you a copy of the arguments. Those are the main salient points that they rely upon. And I think I have given a robust and justified reply why we still feel that their argument stands thin. Having said that, it's premature now to discuss that because, like I said, once this the polls are over and you're on the chair, hopefully, then we can have a proper discussion and you can then learn about the full background of the discrimination. It's not just one issue. We were totally different. We're not going back there as well, saying, but we're just trying to make it simple. Henceforth, from a certain date, give us equal pensions. Equal pensions is not just for the financial side of it; it's a dignity.
Completely.
Humility
It's about respect.
So that is one main issue we're looking for. The dignity to be restored. For the 209 years and 10 years of service we have rendered.
And how many? I think Alex Crawford told me it was about 15,000 still affected on the.
When we started, I think it was around 36,000.
Right.
But every year, with age, people are dwindling. So I don't know whether they're playing the time game. Very hard to understand. But if you look into the arguments, it's very thin, honestly. So having said that, do you know the margin that was during the last poll between the Labour candidate and Good with you.
What, in Aldershot? Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it was,
Oh,
I mean,
that's
it was huge. I mean,
6,000,
yeah, it was
8,000.
like, yeah, I mean, it was huge.
More,
Yeah.
more than that, I think.
But I mean, we were in a different, you know, it was a different, you know,
Yeah.
obviously it was a world where Jeremy Corbyn had
No,
been
no,
out
no.
here, you know, and
The reason I say that, you're in a
yeah,
stronger position
Yeah.
now, which we agree.
yeah,
And I think Leo Dostoevsky for us